Yo, what's going on? Welcome to 48 Views. The end of October is amongst us. The NBA is back. So let's talk about it. Last year was a pretty strange year as we saw two lower seeded teams will their way to the conference finals. The Lakers as the 7th seed and the Heat as the 8th seed. This year I think will fall more in line with the norm as we won't see lower seeded teams make such a deep playoff run. And in today's video I want to discuss some of the main takeaways I had from a few of the teams that I think will finish as top 5 seeds. And with that, let's get to it.
They bring in Max Christie for the first time. Vincent on top. Also in the contest is Maxwell Lewis. Young players.
And you hear the fan faithful, who's your daddy? You mentioned this at the top.
So let's start with the Denver Nuggets. Apparently the Nuggets did a lot of chirping in the Western Conference Finals against the Lakers, and so the reports were that AD and LeBron wanted to play the Nuggets to start the season off. Well, the Nuggets certainly picked up where they left off in the finals, and it's clear that they are just a complete offensive juggernaut because of how perfectly they fit together. Murray complements Jokic in the 2-man game, and KCP fits in nice as a third option for the 3-man game. MPJ is always on go to shoot, and Aaron Gordon can guard the best wings, but also provides vertical spacing on offense, basically playing center. It's hard to imagine the Western Conference Finals without the Nuggets participating next year, and if they continue on the pace they've been on, I think they have a really great chance to repeat for the first time since the Warriors did it in the 2017 and 2018 NBA seasons. Defensively, some say the Nuggets weren't tested in the playoffs last year, and I'm interested to see how the Cards will fall in the playoffs this season. The Celtics or Bucks will obviously have to take one another out, but either way it's hard to see the Nuggets facing an 8 seed overall in the finals next year, assuming they were to return. And to wrap up my early thoughts on the Nuggets, I have a question. If Jokic wins another title, where does he stand amongst the greatest centers of all time? Or can he become the greatest? Or what would it take for him to become the greatest? After seeing him start the season off being a model of consistency, these are questions I began to ask myself while watching Joker in the first half versus the Lakers. And speaking of consistency, that's a great segue into the Lakers. LeBron's greatness is truly unprecedented. He's clearly a top 5 player still in speed, strength, and skill, and although they lost to the Nuggets on their opening night, it was great to see LeBron bring the game home against the depleted Suns. I do worry about the minute restriction for LeBron because he needs his looks and he needs to have the ball in his hands to catch his rhythm. I don't know if I remember him ever playing less than 30 minutes in the season opener for the Lakers, and looking at the pros of the minute restriction, this could be a long-term play to proactively protect LeBron from himself and keep him healthy throughout the season. As we know, LeBron has been hurt pretty much 4 out of the 5 last seasons they've played. Now, looking at the cons, I do not think this is what's best for the offense right now during the regular season, as we know the Lakers have pretty much always been heavily reliant on LeBron offensively outside their bubble championship year. And even then, he basically played point guard. And now on to Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is the model of inconsistency at this point in his career. LeBron says AD doesn't see or hear the talk or criticism, but maybe he should, or maybe he should watch highlights of himself from his early Pelican days. Anthony Davis's offensive decline has drastically affected the offensive efficiency of the Lakers as LeBron is aging into advanced years and is the sole factor I cannot say that the Lakers are a lock to make it to the Western Conference Finals. You never know what you'll get with AD at this point. He's either great every other half or every other game, which makes him one of the more inconsistent stars on the top 10 teams in the NBA. AD is up and down all year, regular season and playoffs, so much so that Stephen A now calls him Six Flags now because he's a roller coaster, literally. This obviously has to be somewhat alarming for the Lakers, and we'll have to see if AD finds his rhythm or if LeBron will have to continue to take on the scoring load and close games offensively for the Lakers. I think at this point, understanding who Anthony Davis is, Rob Pelinka should start shopping him on the low. It sounds wild, but the consistency that other players could provide potentially may outweigh the offensive and defensive talent that AD puts on display seemingly randomly. I think the offensive inconsistency that challenges the Lakers is also a challenge for the next team. The Philadelphia 76ers have stood out as one of the best teams in the East each year for the last few years, but when it matters most in the playoffs, they have a hard time scoring efficiently when it matters. To be fair, Embiid has never had a reliable point guard, but I think Tyrese Maxey is going to have a great year. He seems to only get better by the year. Outside of Maxey, there's been a lot of noise surrounding James Harden this offseason, but I think that they may have more pending questions internally than just James Harden. Apparently, Tobias Harris has made the most money in NBA history without an All-Star appearance. He makes $39.4 million this year on the final year of his deal in Philly, and I think it's time for the 76ers to flip him for more valuable assets to pair alongside Embiid and Maxey. I'm thinking maybe a sign and trade type scenario, and the goal has to be to get more elite scoring around Joel Embiid. I like Tobias, but he never pops off my TV screen. He averaged 15 points in the regular season and pretty much was the same player in the playoffs last year, outside grabbing a few more rebounds per game. There's no certainty in the future with James Harden, and I don't think it makes sense to hitch another wagon to Tobias Harris in regards to a new contract unless he's willing to go down on that price. He's not scaring defenses, and I don't think he's the type of player that pushes the needle for Joel Embiid to stay in Philly. So Damian Lillard debuted for the Bucks, and I must say, 39 in the debut is something else. Giannis deferred to Dame, which made sense in the flow of the game, and Dame was Dame and pretty much unstoppable in the pick and roll. Bucks were setting pick and rolls for Dame at the logo, which is absolutely insane. I mean, who can guard that? I will say, to me, it looked like Giannis has hit his ceiling offensively. I haven't seen much of an improvement since his championship in 2021. So it seems to me that the Bucks made the trade for Dame at the exact perfect time. Giannis is amazing and still likely to get 40 and 20 whenever, but he has weaknesses that really are highlighted in the playoffs, where half-court play is so important versus the regular season where transition play is king most of the time. Dame addresses these weaknesses perfectly, and the Bucks are going to make defenses make decisions. You either play drop and crowd Giannis in the paint, or allow Dame to get 40, or try to play over and risk Giannis getting 50 in the paint. They're my favorite to come out of the East for now until they aren't, and their game against the Celtics on November 22nd will be a good test for them. So one of the final teams I had to highlight in this video are the Celtics. The Celtics are off to a great start, and Porzingis seems to have found new life in the Boston Celtics jersey. To me, they are pretty small overall, and I think it's an interesting commitment to make in 2023 when they know they'll have to get past the Bucks, or very likely the Nuggets after that. Porzingis is 7'3", but he doesn't play big. Offensively, he's going to definitely be an issue. Just not sure about Al Horford and how Porzingis will hold up against the best forwards and centers in the NBA. Let me know what you think. Are the Celtics too small, or does Porzingis and Horford give them enough size? Let me know in the comments below.
To benefit the team, and that just spreads down the line of the roster.
Sling it inside. That's the way you start a season. Kawhi Leonard with the...
The final team I wanted to highlight in this video are the Clippers, and wow. Russ looked like he had new legs, new hands, and the Clippers absolutely decimated the Portland Trail Blazers. I have to throw the Clippers out as a dark horse for the Western Conference Finals because obviously, offensively, I'm not sure who has the perimeter defense to slow down Paul George and Kawhi. When they are on, they can't miss. And even though Paul and Kawhi aren't their 2020 selves defensively or prime defensively, a team coached by Ty Lue will always play defense, I'm convinced. If Kawhi and Paul George stay healthy, the Clippers will be a top 5 seed. So to conclude this video, right now, if I had to choose the NBA Finals teams for this season, I'd pick the Nuggets versus the Bucks. It's hard not to choose those two teams. To be honest, I'd be more shocked if the NBA Finals doesn't contain any of the teams I've mentioned today. But on that note, there's tons of other teams putting in work that are professionals as well that I didn't mention today, so you can never be absolutely certain. I think all the teams here have a better shot than any of the other 24 teams, but out of these 6 teams, I do think the Lakers or the 76ers have the worst shot to win the NBA championship next year, mostly due to their scoring and efficiency. This NBA season is just getting started, so of course a lot can change, but let me know what y'all think in the comments below. Can the Nuggets repeat, or are the Bucks now the best team overall in the NBA? As always, thanks for watching, and go ahead and give this video a like and subscribe to the channel.